In an exclusive chat with CNBC-TV18, Mr. BK Goenka, the chairman of Welspun Group, says that he expects the group revenue to triple in the next 3 to around 5 years. He also spoke about the listing of the US business, the Capex plans for Sintex, and how he sees Welspun Corp ramp up from here on. Let's listen in to a few excerpts from that conversation. Well, Mr. Goenka, you briefly mentioned about Welspun Corp, and that's something that the street is quite bullish on. Now, you'll just won an order in the United States, and that was a whopping 2,400 crores. But what the market believes is this is just the start, and there is more to come. There could be $1 billion of order inflow in this calendar year itself. Do you concur?
See, I want to tell you one thing, that we are one of the very formidable force in when the US market comes, when the Welspun comes. We are one of the major player in the oil and gas, transportation of oil and gas pipes when it comes. So looking to today's market, US market is quite bullish in the overall pipe market when we talk of particularly from the gas from Permian Basin. And apart from that, there are many new projects coming up in the new energy. Over and above, there's a huge potential from the angle of carbon capturing.
Right.
So we feel very comfortable. I think we have bid for many projects. I mean, I can't say anything like today at this juncture, but in a overall market size of more than $3 billion, I mean, you go on bidding and something you win, something you don't win. So it's very difficult to say what is going to happen, but we are in a good position in US.
Well, but it wouldn't surprise you if you won a big order before the end of this fiscal, amounting to close to around $1 billion odd. That's what the market believes.
I mean, we have bidded for, as I said, more than $1 billion projects. I mean, what comes, what not comes, is very difficult to say that, but we are looking good in many of them.
All right, since you'll have such a good position in the United States, do you think that maybe at some point of time you could be looking at listing this entity in the US? Could that be something on your mind?
Not really. I mean, at this juncture, there's no plans.
Well, Welspun Corp has close to 31% stake in the Middle East business. What's the plan out there? Do you plan on divesting that 31%, or do you believe that it depends on the size of the check? Then maybe you'll sell that out.
No, not. That's really, I mean, as you know, we are one of the global players in the oil and gas market. And Saudi or Middle East is a very important and strategic market for us. I mean, there is no plan as such like that. But definitely, it's a very important from the angle of our overall strategy in the global market. So it's doing very well. I mean, it's almost booked for next 3 years. And we are one of the, not only the formidable player, but we are one of the first choice for the customer.
All right, very important. Let's talk about Sintex then, because Sintex is something that could be the big value driver from here on. You're putting more than 2,000 crores in that business, and that has a brand recall value. The market size is immensely huge as well. What's your outlook with regard to Sintex? And this is something that the markets are waiting for. What is the outlook? What is the asset turnover? And what could be the EBITDA profile of this business? Because you're putting big money in here.
So, well, Sintex is as you know, is synonymous with when you talk of storage tank, water storage tank, you say Sintex layout. It's synonymous with water tank. And it's the oldest and the first, I mean, who created the water tank. It's a 50-year history behind Sintex. And it's a very well-known brand. And as Welspun, when we acquired a year back, I think we have a huge plan behind it. When we see the Indian market today, the building material market, whether it is PVC, OPVC, CPVC, all kind of water-related pipes and businesses, we see a huge potential. And market is growing almost like 15 to 20% every year. And we see a potential in that. And accordingly, we have already announced a Capex plan of more than 2,500 crores in next 3 years. And where we will be coming out a complete bouquet of the whole related items, which is building related items like all kind of pipes, fittings, adhesives, storage, water storage tanks. So it is a. I think we are in our overall portfolio of group. One of the things was missing was B2C brand. I think Sintex has given us that, and in next 3 years' time, we feel that we will be growing that business more than 20%. In next 3 years' time.
So asset turnover of around 2 times, could it be a 5,000 crore revenue potential with margins of mid-teens? Would that be a target that you have?
I mean, that's the fair target for our team. We are going to have it, and it may happen in 3 to 5 years' time.
Do you think at some point of time the value of Sintex itself, since it's in building products and it gets a higher multiple, do you think you can unlock value, maybe list it separately once it starts ramping up in terms of revenue, and maybe that asset could be far more valuable?
I mean, whatever's going to be right from the angle of shareholder. As we all know, B2C multiples are different. There's a different kind of product, and this is a 100% subsidiary of Welspun Corp. And at the right time, whatever is good for the overall shareholder, unlocking the shareholder value, we will take whatever necessary or whatever the decisions. Board will take that time, and we'll do the right thing, which will create value for everyone.
Well, Welspun Corp, between FY24 and FY25, there's not going to be much growth because you're waiting for those orders to come in from the United States as well. But now you have a ductile pipes business that will fire. Sintex as well will gradually start contributing, and the US business will start ramping up. Put everything together for FY26, can we expect the EBITDA number for Welspun Corp be closer to around the 3,000 crore mark? Would that be gettable?
I think whatever the projects, whatever the expansion plan we have announced, we are very good to go around 15 to 20% growth all around, whether it is top line or EBITDA. And we are quite confident when we see the Indian market for the DI pipes, when we see our US businesses, when we see our Saudi businesses, and moreover, the Sintex is also coming up well. So I think all put together, we are in a good position.
And what about you have another smaller listed entity, Welspun Specialty, the stainless part of the business. That is a niche one, you have turned it around. Could you be looking at folding that business into Welspun Corp?
I don't think so. I mean, it's a business which is very, very special, and in recent past only we could turn it around, and it has been making losses for many years. And today we are proudly, I can say that this is a company which is looking for the new business, which is under the Atmanirbhar government policy, Make in India, whether it is for nuclear, whether it is for defense, whether it is for power. I think we are in a good position in times to come in that business, particularly in stainless steel and related items.
So you believe it has a niche, you'd rather not merge it into the Welspun
I mean,
Corp?
definitely it's a niche market, and it's already a separate listed company, and which is already reflecting the value.
Well, you can catch the full conversation with Mr. BK Goenka at 4:30 p.m. today, only on CNBC-TV18.